I'm Petty Officer Ian Anderson, and you're on board George Washington. This week on OBGW, we'll be looking back on our port visit to Thailand with some fond memories. But first, here's a look around the fleet in this week's headlines. President Obama has extended the retroactive stop-loss payment deadline until December 3rd of this year. There are an estimated 80,000 troops eligible for the special payment that have yet to apply. Some good news for anybody heading to Afghanistan. The top military leader in the region has given the go-ahead to bring fast food and other concessions back to the country. General David Petraeus said these quality-of-life programs remain important to soldiers for stress relief, and therefore enhancing military readiness. Fall elections are almost here, and Commander Navy Installations Command wants to ensure sailors and their family members exercise their right to vote by providing the voting assistance program Navy-wide. The easiest way to get your absentee ballot and to register to vote is by logging on to www.fvap.gov. After serving America for several years, dozens of GW sailors can now call themselves American citizens, after a naturalization ceremony conducted on the ship's forecastle. We'll have more on this event in next week's OBGW. With Thailand in the rearview mirror, our sailors left the country with souvenirs and memories. But what many Thais received from the crew was something far more beneficial. Petty Officer Danielle Brandt has the first of two stories to take a look at GW's community service projects.
U.S. Navy sailors are used to working with a paintbrush in their hand, but their canvas here in Thailand isn't haze gray. These 35 sailors from USS George Washington are giving up some of their liberty time to repaint an ancient-looking Buddhist temple, and giving a facelift to the Jidapan Temple in the hot Thai sun is something these sailors consider an honor.
It's just like almost doing like Habitat for Humanity or something back at home, you know, and this is also is a very, very important side of doing community relations.
This paint job was just one of more than a half dozen community service projects GW sailors participated in while in Thailand. For the USS George Washington, I'm Petty Officer Danielle Brandt.
But the community service projects weren't all work and no fun. Petty Officer Michael Mulcair picks up the story from there.
They come in groups of more than 15 and bring smiles to children wherever they go. They're USS George Washington sailors. GW sailors recently taking time out of their busy port schedule to visit the Huai School to spread some joy to Thai children.
Right now we're here in a school with a lot of kids. We've been going into their classrooms trying to teach, math, some English a little bit, and try to play a little bit around, and it's pretty fun.
It's not only fun for GW sailors. One kindergartner claims she had a great time too.
Very fun. I really have good time.
After the tutoring session, sailors were treated to a performance by the grateful host. For the USS George Washington, I'm Petty Officer Michael Mulcair.
During our stay in Lam Shebang, a few locals got to experience the expertise of Navy culinary specialists in action. We go to our own seaman Christopher Hart, who has more.
Thanks, MC2. This is where our sailors perfect their skill. But while in Thailand, these CSs got a chance to put their skill to the test.
In a land known for great food, some Navy chefs are here in Thailand cooking it up in the name of competition. But there's a catch to this cook-off. The chefs weren't given the ingredients for an appetizer, main course, and dessert until just minutes before the official start.
They gave us a lot of food. Probably gave us enough for about 7 courses, and we only needed to make 3. So kind of didn't know what to do with all of it, so I tried to use as much as I can.
Pitting 2 teams from USS George Washington against a team from USS Cowpens and USS McCampbell. The chefs spent 4.5 hours over their stoves prepping their plates for the judges. But it was a thundering herdsman of USS Cowpens that came out on top. GW's 2 teams taking 2nd and 3rd place, which their chief says is still an honor.
They were really working as a good team, and I hope that they bring that on board the ship.
For USS George Washington, I'm Seaman Christopher S. Hart.
Next, Petty Officer Devon Dow takes us on a tour of something that we may take for granted, but that never fails to amaze.
No less than 24 hours after making its first ever port visit to Thailand, USS George Washington opened its doors, providing tours of the ship to more than 200 guests. Whether they were military officials or children from a local organization, guests received the VIP treatment while getting the chance to see firsthand the inner workings of GW.
Well, driving up to it, it was just awesome. Just driving up and seeing it, it's a huge ship. To me, it's like a small country.
From an elevator ride to the flight deck, to a chance to purchase GW mementos, the guests were all smiles from bow to stern.
I love it. Like, I don't think that I have this great opportunity to be here, and I can't believe I'm here.
For USS George Washington, I'm Petty Officer Devon Dow.
GW plays host to well over 3,000 visitors each year. It wasn't all hard work in Thailand. Lieutenant Commander Dave Heck takes us along on his ongoing tour of the Pacific in the latest edition of Liberty Call, Liberty Call.
It's hot, it's muggy, but at least it's not out at sea. Hello, Thailand. Welcome to the Kingdom of Thailand, famous for its friendly people and ancient culture, and now famous for the arrival of the supercarrier USS George Washington.
And as such, being the permanently forward deployed carrier, we operate up and down the Western Pacific every year.
While the media is excited to come aboard the ship, the crew is just excited to get off. The ship is docked in Lam Shabang. There's really nothing in Lam Shabang. This is where you want to come, Pattaya Beach. It's a combination of the beaches of Rio de Janeiro, the high-end resorts of Miami, toss in a little Acapulco, and don't forget the sin of Sin City.
Get tired, you're talking to a tourist whose every move's among the purists.
It's like Mardi Gras with a bunch of steroids.
I get my kids above the waistline, sunshine.
After nearly 6 months at sea, the nightlife is guaranteed to be wild.
I can feel an angel sliding up to me.
You can talk with the senior medical officer about taking full advantage of that. It wasn't all that long ago that Pattaya Beach was just a small fishing village. It was in the 1960s during the Vietnam War that the U.S. Army was looking for a place to send troops on R&R from Vietnam. This is where they came, and the rest is history. I'm here to relax, take it easy, Skype with the kids. And with the economy in your favor, a stay in a luxurious hotel is dirt cheap.
Let's go! Let's go!
My resort? The Hard Rock Hotel. How cool is this? They even have Ron Wixow's old drums. Excuse me, who is Ron Wixow?
Let's go! Let's go!
Before you pay for your room, ask the front desk if you can come up and take a look at it. What you see on the internet isn't always reality. I can live with this. Getting around is easy. Just jump on a Baht bus. Baht is the local currency. A ride shouldn't cost more than 10 baht, or a couple dollars. You'll find it all here, from local treasures to kickboxing matches. While I feast at a roadside stand, our sailors are letting some fish feast on their feet.
The fish are eating your dead skin away, but it's like somebody tickling with a feather for hours. It's pretty relaxing.
That's funny, they're actually avoiding this sailor's feet. I wonder what that means. Oh, back at that roadside stand, a couple hours later, the chicken had its revenge, so maybe this is something you'll want to avoid. Experiencing the local culture, GW sailors took elephant rides through the jungle. Others visited temples and golden Buddhas. And then there were the boat rides through Bangkok's inner city. For me, I opted for some high-flying fun, zip-lining through the jungle. To get to the first platform, it's a 15-minute walk uphill through, well, a drizzling rainforest. It's absolutely beautiful here, and I probably would have paid the money just to do this. 10 people on a tiny platform swaying in the breeze on what feels like a mile high. Like Tarzan, we swing from tree to tree to tree. 23 zip lines in all, some as long as, well, the length of an aircraft carrier.
Describe the feeling when you're on the zip line going across.
Just a little quick rush. Nothing too scary. A lot of fun still.
After the third or fourth zip line, the fear goes away and you find yourself in awe of the rainforest around you. The view? Simply amazing.
If you ever wanted to know what it was like to fall from a 50-story building, this is it.
After the 23 different zip lines, it's a nice, easy descent to the ground down below. Way below. What a way to spend the day. For your courage, you're rewarded with a free meal. Soup, fried egg with fried rice, fruit, and some sort of rice whiskey, which I could have used before the first zip line. Back at Pattaya Beach, the party is still raging. But for me, my comfy bed is calling my name. Tomorrow we continue our quest of World War II history. In 1957, Columbia Pictures released the film Bridge Over the River Kwai. It won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. The movie was about the building of a bridge by World War II POWs under the merciless Japanese. Boarding a tour bus, we're headed to the real deal. And this is the famed bridge, or at least the one built after the Allies bombed the original. Walking across it, you can't help but feel a connection to another place in another time. The film is a classic, and because of it, each year, thousands flock here. Back in 1942, this is what the area looked like when POWs were building the bridge over the River Kwai. But all these decades later, the jungle has turned into a booming city, with a lot of tourism focusing around a bridge and a movie.
You know, obviously the movie brings back a lot of memories, so it's one of those places where you're happy to come here and see what actually happened.
The bridge is just one small piece of what has become known as the Death Railway. They say one POW died for every railroad tie between Burma and Thailand. That's more than 100,000 in all. Taking a speedboat upstream, where the river joins up with another and the current picks up speed, we visit a museum dedicated to preserving the history of the POWs, how they lived, how they were treated, and the artifacts they left behind. Helmets, swords, and shells. And then there's the POW cemetery, the final resting place for not just Americans, but Brits and Australians. You have to have a true appreciation for history to come on this tour. It took 4 hours in a bus and 20 minutes on a boat to see all this. But seeing where our forefathers and our allies fought, died, and are buried makes it all worth it. Following the 4-hour bus ride back and pounding the pavement to pick up a couple last-minute gifts, there's only one more thing left to do. No, not that. This. Oh yeah, this should hold me over until we drop anchor again. Where? Hopefully home, but remember, this is the Navy, and nothing's guaranteed.
That does it for this edition of Onboard George Washington. I'm Petty Officer Ian Anderson, and I just want to leave you with this one final thought. With the holidays right around the corner, the question is, what do you want for Christmas?
All I want for Christmas is my 3M claw.
So I just want to spend time with my family and kick it with my brothers and everybody, and my mama.
What I want for Christmas is to go home and see my family and friends because I miss them.
For Christmas, I would like my very own DeLorean so I can go back in time and also go into the future.
What I would like more than anything for Christmas is to be home with my family, my newborn daughter, and my wife.
All I want for Christmas is to be an anchor man.
And I would like a Teddy Ruxpin bear to read me bedtime stories so I won't be lonely.
I would like a soul for Christmas.
All I want for Christmas is to make E5 so I can live out of town.
Well, for Christmas, I would really like to get my stolen childhood back in the form of a lever-action Red Ryder BB gun. Hopefully I won't shoot my eye out with it. So Santa, if you're out there watching, you know, put me on your list, hook me up.